What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Game Changers. I'm your host and founder and CEO, Jalen's Hart, and here with me are my guys, Joel and Xavier.
What up,
So today is going to be a very entertaining and fun show. So we know that Trevor Lawrence is one of the top quarterback prospects in college football right now. Very hot with the number one overall team, Clemson Tigers. So it's been reported that he's predicted to be the number one pick in this year's draft. And some people are telling him not to go into the draft just because of the New York Jets organization. You know how it's coached by Adam Gase. They're 0-6, beyond terrible. So it's been reports that he should not go into the draft and play for this terrible organization in many cases. So, fellas, do you think he should go into the draft this year, or do you think he should come back for his senior season and play for Clemson again?
I think he should come. He should have a senior season because I think Trevor Lawrence. I feel like on his standpoint, he's more worried about the academic perspective and trying to graduate college, then go to the league, and then I feel like him with an organization like the Jets, I feel like that wouldn't be a great fit for him. But it'll be difficult for the Jets to get if they do get a first round draft pick, who else are they going to get? That's kind of the question. I mean, then you kind of looking okay, we probably got to get Justin Fields, the second best quarterback in college football right now, if he declares for the draft also. But honestly, on Trevor Lawrence's perspective, I think he should have a senior season.
Okay.
I agree. Let Trevor Lawrence stay and continue just to have a outbreak season with Clemson and New York Jets. Y'all just got to get Justin Fields.
I mean, that money is going to be guaranteed, but at the same time, keep progressing on your skills. I mean, if he wants to stay in college, perfecting your skills that you can perfect now to where other teams can look at you and say, hey, we want you next year. But at the same time, there's no reason for NFL teams to be tanking for 2 years in a row because we can't predict the future. Hear me out. We can't predict the future. It might be a situation to where the Jets might be terrible next year because look at it. You got Sam Darnold already playing, who is a top-tier quarterback, drafted in the first round. I believe the 2017, 2018? 2017 draft, not a few years ago. So, honestly, if he did go into the draft, I think a team that will fit him well, the Falcons. I would say the Falcons because you have Matt Ryan, who is out of his prime, old veteran quarterback, and it'll be a great asset for the Atlanta Falcons organization because you have Julio Jones. You also have Hayden Hurst. You also have Todd Gurley in the backfield. You have these weapons that you could build around this team. And now that Dan Quinn is gone, you have a fresh African-American coach. I forgot his name off the top of my head, so I honestly don't know his name. But I know that he's African-American. He has a chance of turning this franchise around. So it's split for me, but at the same time, I'm leaning for him to go for that senior season. Hopefully he can repeat with a two-time Heisman Trophy winner because he's favored to win the Heisman Trophy this year.
Yeah, but I have a quick question though.
Go ahead.
Isn't Travis Etienne? Isn't this his last year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What he gonna do? I feel like he does have a running back duo, but it won't. His running backs, if he does have a senior season, won't match the game Etienne had.
Right. And honestly, after Lawrence, I really don't know who the quarterback or the running back is after Etienne either. So it's kind of like the situation with Joe Burrow and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. When they both left, we didn't know what their quarterback was, who the quarterback was, or who the running back was. So it's okay, is there another layer to the offense that we don't know? Or diehard Clemson fans might know, but we, as not non-diehard Clemson fans, we don't know that whole structure of the team. But moving forward, so I spoke about the black coach for the Atlanta Falcons. So we're going to go to black quarterbacks in the NFL league. Do you think black quarterbacks need to be respected more in the NFL or in the college football level? And if so, why?
I mean, yes, they do. Because, like, some of the black quarterbacks now in the NFL are some of the top 10 players in the game now. Like, let's see, Dak Prescott before he got hurt. I mean, he was leading the NFL in passing yards. You have Russell Wilson. You have Lamar Jackson. I mean, those guys are just incredible, and I don't think they really get the credit enough because of their skin color. So I do believe they should, give them more respect.
I think indefinitely they need to be respected more on both college and in NFL. I mean, college, everybody's talking about Lamar Jackson on the season he had when he was dual threat. When a black quarterback uses his legs to gain more field because he doesn't want to stay stiff in the pocket, I mean, they kind of just get credit as a running back.
Right.
Like, they should be credited as a receiver. Then it's just criticized, or like some of them, like Lamar Jackson, he clearly said he couldn't read the play back then.
Right.
So and then you saw T.J. Finley, we didn't know what he was going to spit against South Carolina versus LSU, but then he put up the numbers. He almost put up 300 passing yards with 2-3 touchdowns, and the black quarterback honestly does need to be more respected. And instead of being used as just running, if you could just throw the ball, they just think the black quarterback in a real life perspective, the quarterback position in a real life perspective as the white position or the position that a white person can play.
Mm-hmm. So me personally, I agree with what you guys were saying with the points on the black quarterbacks. It has to start somewhere. So before Lamar Jackson, before Russell Wilson, and before all these other black quarterbacks, you had Michael Vick. You had Michael Vick, who set the tone very early for dual threat African-American quarterbacks. You had Donovan McNabb setting an example for the black quarterbacks. These pivotal players played a major role for African-American players, quarterbacks especially, to play the way that they play in the league. Now, with contracts, that's a big issue leading up to the management side. So, for example, Dak Prescott, knowing that he was hurt, now that there was no need for him to be franchise tag. We know this. No need for him to be franchise tag. Russell Wilson got all of his money that he needed in Seattle. Teddy Bridgewater, for example, came out of college, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Robert Griffin III. Robert Griffin III made big history at Baylor, coming into with the Washington Redskins at the time, doing what he had to do, leading that team to the playoffs. It's very pivotal. Black quarterbacks are very athletic and very talented in multiple ways, and most people really don't see it that way.
Yeah, to pick up all that also. You're seeing Lamar Jackson won Heisman, Kyler Murray won
Exactly.
Heisman. I think Deshaun Watson won Heisman, and he won a championship with Clemson.
Yep.
That's how you know it's really the black quarterback is so disrespected, and we're just mainly known as a runner, but we're not. But when we pass the ball, then it's kind of silence all over.
Right. So we're gonna wrap this up, and we're gonna do a quick pitch here. So, will Tua Tagovailoa? Well, let's scratch that. Let's scratch the Tua Tagovailoa list. So let me ask you this question: will the Steelers make the playoffs and win the Super Bowl?
I'll say make the playoffs, but I wouldn't take it too far with the Super Bowl yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll agree. They'll possibly go deep in the playoffs, but to say that they're going to the Super Bowl is still too early.
Okay.
Even though they're undefeated.
Okay. So with Odell Beckham out for the year, can Baker Mayfield have a successful season without OBJ?
Possibly.
Yeah, possibly. He'll still have Jarvis Landry and
the Peebles dude. He showed up when he needed to show up.
Right.
Me personally.
But that's still a big player to miss though.
Me
I feel like
personally,
with OBJ. Okay.
I think OBJ. I think he's gonna end up leaving. I think
Me
he's gonna
too.
end up leaving.
I do too.
I don't know what team he's gonna go on, but I'm gonna just say this to be on the record. The Baltimore Ravens need to move Des Bryant up off the practice squad to the regular roster.
I
Big
agree.
time. Indefinitely.
I agree.
There's no reason why he should be on the practice squad. That's
Why?
just my take. He's too talented. He's one of the best wide receivers in our generation that has played for the Dallas Cowboys with Tom
Right.
Brady. Now, if he was still there with Dak, man, what a receiver core. That's basically the same receiver core with what Tom Brady has with Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, and Gronk. Crazy.
And Chris Godwin.
And Godwin.
And I think Baltimore needs they need a receiver that can go underneath in the route, and you can go with Hollywood over the top. And they need a receiver that's over 6 feet. Honestly, Hollywood is 5'8", 5'9", Duvernay's 5'10". And then you really just need a receiver. And honestly, John Harbaugh needs to take him out the practice squad and put him on the actual roster, on the starting roster.
Exactly. And Des Bryant can be a big help for Baltimore in the red zone. When you can be at the 3, the 2, or the 1 yard line and go for a goal line fake. I mean, all you have to do is throw it up to Des, and then I promise you, he'll make that play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So this is gonna be the last question. Will Will Muschamp be fired?
No.
I don't think so. No.
You don't think so?
His contract doesn't. I think his contract, from what I heard, his contract doesn't last till 2022.
Okay.
So I don't think he's not gonna get fired. He should
think,
probably get demoted though.
So do you think this team will be able to get another win over a top 25 team? Because they do play Texas A&M, they do play Georgia, and they don't play Clemson. And they might possibly play Kentucky if Kentucky can end up getting back into the top 25 rankings.
Yes, honestly.
Against who?
Honestly, another UGA.
At home?
Hey,
it's possible.
I mean, the intensity.
It's all what happened last year.
Hey, the intensity last year. I mean, the intensity this year for the Georgia game is going to feed off of what last year has happened. So I think that Georgia is going to be a neck and neck game, but defense has to step up. Defense needs to stop. I feel like defense don't know what to do, what the playbook is. Only person on that defense that really know what's going on is Ernest Jones.
And J.C. Horn. And J.C. Horn.
And on a quarterback situation, I'll honestly say keep Colin Hill, but keep Luke Doty ready.
Over Helinski?
Helinski's too stiff in the pocket.
I think Colin Hill, he's a good quarterback, but in the big moments, he's scared.
Yeah.
He's scared. He's second guessing on his decision making, because when you're playing up against one of the best teams in the SEC West, they just came off a national championship. With him being very hesitant of throwing the ball, when you got Shi Smith, well, that's the other problem too. We'll talk about this next week too. I believe that this opposite side of the Carolina football team is one-dimensional. That's just my take on that. But we can feed off of that next week. And in next week's show, we're going to talk about high school athletes coming out of high school, either choosing between PWIs and HBCUs. So y'all stay tuned for next week, and we'll see y'all then.
Bye, y'all.